Hi everybody, and welcome here on Graphic Matters. My name is Thomas Daam, and today I have the pleasure to talk with Rob Leijsen and Anette Lenz from the University of Arts and Design in Geneva. And today we're going to talk about 3 projects that they present during this festival. And Anette and Rob, can you please introduce yourself and what's the connection with the university and the festival?
You want to start?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Anette Lenz. I'm a graphic designer in Paris, and I'm teaching in Geneva graphic design for 8 years now. Maybe.
Yeah. My name is Rob. I'm originally from here, from Breda. And in 2008, I graduated at the AKV Sint-Joost, the local art school here. And then in 2010, I went to Geneva for master's studies. And since then, I'm also connected to the art school there as an invited teacher.
I have to tell my connection to Breda too. So before teaching in HEAD Geneva, I was intervening sometimes for a week in a postgraduate class by Hoek Bukra. Yeah. In Breda. So that was my first connection with Breda before knowing the festival.
Okay. Yeah. So, how did you get involved into the festival?
Well, I already participated 2 times in 2010 and 2012 with my my colleagues. Then we had a collective called Holy Grey. With Hanneke, Minte and Marielle van Genderen. So then we met Dennis already a couple of times, and we established a good relation. So that was my link with the festival. I think for Anette.
Yeah, I was already here before it becomes Graphic Matters, and we wanted to work together for a while already between the school and the festival.
Yeah. So and you're presenting here 3 projects.
Yes.
And why did you want it as a design education? Be that the students are take part in this project or in this festival. What was the reason behind this?
Yeah, well, actually, like Anette and I, we are each semester we're a duo, and we do the course together. And so in February we were starting a new course, and we thought it would be great to have a collaboration with a design festival. We had carte blanche, as we say in French, like we could do whatever, we could propose whatever we wanted. And then I saw that the festival was in September, so that would fit perfectly in the semester and have a production in summer. So then I proposed it to Anette, and I proposed it to our head of the department. And everyone was enthusiastic. Yeah. And then we contacted Dennis, and he was also ready to go. And then from there on we started. Yeah, maybe you can explain the start of the.
No, it's a class. This is called Letter in Public Space. So it's something that always has to do with context, and how to intervene in public space in a specific context. So it's very interesting that the students learn about a new context, a new cultural situation, and the idea was also that they can go out of Geneva and connect with another festival. We had already a couple of times before made a project with Chaumont, with the Festival of Chaumont, for example. So this is something that we try to do to create, connections somewhere else. And the festival seemed to be a really interesting place because it's very alive, and much things are happening here, and we wanted to take part in that.
Yeah, exactly. So, so let's go to the first project. It's called Water Matters, and we are here with one of the students, and she's going to explain the project. So can you please introduce yourself and tell about how the project started for you?
Yes, so I'm Shadya, and I worked on this project. I study in the 3rd year in HEAD Genève. So in this project we decided to talk about 3 topics related to water, inaccessibility of water in some countries in the world, pollution and overconsumption. And we created 3 different carafes with topics on it, and phrases about the facts. And the interesting thing is we have filled this carafes with colored water, and it has a very big impact because when somebody watch on this carafe, he is not really sure about if it's drinkable, but it's just water, it's just colored water, so totally drinkable.
Yeah. So can you tell a little bit about the process, the design process, and the thinking about what led up to the end result and the way you present it?
Yeah, so we began with, well, we had to find a way to express, but in a very simple way, because for the impact it was better to use a black typography, very simple and very impactful. And we did with serigraphy. And for the water, we had to experiment a little bit to have those very special colors.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I saw like in some of the bottles there is like this dirt.
Yeah.
What's that?
Because every day we have to mix a little bit the water because it's like the colors who is a little bit going down, but it's not toxic.
Okay. And you silk screen this yourself or?
No, we worked with a printer in Villeneuve, in the canton of Valais, in the Swiss Alps, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And can you tell a little bit maybe about the, because there are also
Coasters.
Yeah, coasters.
Yes. Can you tell a little bit about that? So maybe.
Yeah. So we just take the same phrases for each coasters, but the goal was to just have one catchword to catch the attention of the visitors. And just in the back we can see that we have the description of the project, and that's it.
Okay. I don't know if that has already have been said about the festival, but it was the subject was "Don't hesitate, agitate," and all three projects are very committed projects in a social and political sense. So maybe that should be said to understand this. So this project is really about, you know, the resources we share and to be conscious about it. And I think it's very discreet in some way, but its impact is quite. I like it very much. It's impactful, yes. Yeah,
because we asked the students in the start to express themselves and to come up with subjects that mattered for them, and then these came out as one of the subjects. And then that's also important to mention that Dennis, he came to Geneva in the middle of the process.
Exactly.
And then he also intervened and discussed with us what could work on for the festival, because he has, of course, all the realistic. He has a realistic idea in mind what could work here, and he's also he finds it very important to have interaction with the public, which is, of course, the main reason for the festival. So all three projects they establish a really dialogue with the public, with the visitors.
Yeah, I noticed that like during the days that people hesitate if they could taste it and get a drink, and maybe we can do it. That's exactly. So it's funny to see that it like people hesitate, and sometimes they are very thirsty and they just grab it. So cheers. Yeah, cheers.
It's also to do with public trust, because they knew here they would not be served water that was dangerous.
Right.
Not everybody has this chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And how big was the group that you work with?
We were 6 students on this project, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it was a good collaboration?
Yeah, because we had to decide about we did a logo for our project, and we had to make a selection for the phrases and work on the colors. It was a very big job because it's not that easy to find the real color, and pretty interesting.
How did you make the color then? Because it's probably all natural ingredients?
Yeah, we had some ingredients on the bottom of the bottle, but it's like food coloring, and we just mix them, and we obtained that.
It's basically gels that are then mixed like you do, like you mix a color for painting or for printing. That's basically the same procedure. So they have 4 basic colors and then they mix the...
It was very funny because it was like a little witch kitchen where they mixed these colors together. So it was quite nice.
And can we see this process also somewhere on the internet, or?
Oh, maybe we'll put it on. No, there's a couple of images online already for to present the project. So.
Okay, great. So shall we go to the second project?
Let's do it.
Oh. So we're now walking out to the outdoors, to the next project of HEAD Genève.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi. So and in general is a good experience for the students now already?
Yeah, it's great. They were here since Tuesday, so that's also like a long week of intensive, very intensive week of producing the projects. And we did some team building also Monday in Paris. So we visited one day the AGI conference also because Anette is connected to that very closely. So yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm gonna stand here. Sorry, because so we are here in this project, and that's called. Let me see what's called. Safe or it's no, it's not safe or social. Where is it?
Precious Hope.
Precious Hope. Yes, and we are also here with a student, but this is also something that you created here in Breda, right? You have to come closer
we have to
come closer. Maybe you can you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about how the project started and about the design?
Yes. Hi, my name is Anne-Soorya.
I will.
Okay. We made the project with 6 of the students. We wanted to work with positive design, so we made a project about hope.
Yeah.
So during the festival, we collected some answers from people. We asked them about what they were hopeful for in the next 50 minutes, 50 days, and 50 years.
Okay.
And we were curious to know what they were thinking about, because right now everything seems very pessimistic and negative.
Yeah.
So we wanted to see what they were.
Okay, and what's with the time element in it? Why the time element?
We wanted to see the answers because we don't think that in the same way. We hope in a different way. If it's in 50 minutes, 50 days and 50 years, and most of the time people think about other people if it's in 50 years, like global warming or peace or love, and if they think about 50 minutes, it's more like I want to eat, I want to meet some friends or something like that. So it's interesting to know what their priorities are.
And what's surprised you like the most during what have people write down?
There was a 5-year-old who said that he wanted to be a successful DJ 50 years from now.
Oh, okay, that's quite a long term to become a successful DJ, right?
Yeah.
So, and can you tell a little bit about the design process?
Well, after collecting the answers, we wanted to show them to people. So we decided to make panels out of the answers, and we wanted to have 3 different colors and 3 different shapes to make it more visible.
Poppy? Yeah, as a graphic impact, yes.
So we chose red, blue and yellow, but not the basic colors. We changed them a little bit.
Yeah, and why these colors?
I don't know, we wanted to make something... I really don't know. Wanted to make something...
It just felt good? Or?
Yeah, joyful.
Okay.
And hopeful.
Okay. So, and how was the process for you?
I
will hold it.
Okay, you will hold it. Well, we first started with this project, and it came out of They started off with an idea of a message in a bottle, and that you send a message to someone else you don't actually know, and that someone will receive this message. Like, so there's a very a big part that is, or an important part, that people, the receiver and the sender, they don't know each other, and that creates also like a connection that is not there. Yeah. And so this afternoon we will go to the city center and we will present them to the shopping public, actually. Also to spread out the festival and to establish, or to create this confrontation, but not in a negative way, as Anne-Soorya also explained, but really a positive message. So it's like manifestation often has a negative or like a negative aim, or at least a negative subject. And now we wanted to inverse that. And,
so you bring positivity to the city center.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Right. And what I also found striking is like you used the protest sign element. I don't know I don't know the name. How do you call this?
Demonstration panel.
Yeah, exactly. Demonstration panel. Why did you choose for this demonstration panel form?
Because, as Rob said, most of the time demonstrations are pretty much about negative thinking, and here it was very hopeful, so we wanted to show that. Because
but you could also make a banner, or like a small long sign, or
maybe something that we didn't mention so far. It was really the idea about sharing also, that we could share different opinions and hopes, and that somebody else could like use the same words or identify with, or would hold it up for himself, or that to show also the idea that we are much more interconnected than we think, and that the idea of the one can be carried by the other, and that was the idea behind. When you mentioned the graphic sign in the beginning, it was also in kind of in relation to the flags, for example, in maritime system, or in signage in the roads, that were determined in a graphic, ludic way, and could have a strong idea and are easily connected, because the students didn't have so much control over what would happen with the visitors that draw on that. So they would have to have a big graphic impact that holds it all together. So that was one of the reasons also why this graphic forms.
So they also created a kind of a template to so that people can write their own hope on it.
But it is still controlled by the graphic designer in some way. So that was the idea, to give free expression, but to have the graphic control of it.
Okay, and can you tell a little bit about how did you put this? Because I see there big markers, so people can write. Maybe we can go a bit closer. So people write down their mark or their hope on the paper, and then how was the process to put it on the thing? How did you do it?
So visitors could
to the microphone a little bit closer, please. Yeah.
So visitors could write down their hopes, and then they had to put it in the white box here.
Yeah.
And then we scanned it with our phones with an application, and then we put it on our computers to print it on the panels.
Right. Okay, very simple, straightforward, modern technology. Okay, great.
But then the process isn't finished. How does it continue afterwards?
Yeah, then we have to, after putting it on the panels, we demonstrate in the streets of Breda.
Yeah.
We only took 50 answers to put on the panels and to demonstrate with. And then for the rest of the answers, we're putting them in small envelopes.
Yeah.
And we give them to people.
Ah, okay.
As precious hopes and precious memories.
Okay. Wow.
And then after the demonstration, we put all of the answers on a wall inside the museum.
Yeah.
Where we're in right now.
Okay.
So it can stay during the festival.
Wow, that's great. That's really great.
It's very poetic too.
This is for you.
Ah, okay. I have my very hope to have finished this interview. No, I was not hoping that at all. So thank you so much. Let's go to the third project that they present at the festival. And now we are in the sun. Or maybe you can see it already here. Let's see where we can stand. Maybe stand here. Where's the student? Is there a student? Oh, he's here. Oh, you're writing. Okay, let's go to him then. Annette, if you can come a bit closer. Hi, can you tell a bit about the project that we see here in the back?
Hi, sure. So this project is about the refugees and the and the tourists traveling over the Mediterranean Sea, and we made the choice to represent the tourists and the refugees with boys for one reason, the confusion. So we picked those pleasure boys to represent the tourists, and the other life boys to represent the refugees.
Yeah.
And the color is the same, and the type is the same, all to create the confusion. And on the boys there are some newspaper headlines about refugees and tourists.
Okay. And how did you, like, what was the thinking about it before you started? Like, how did you come up with this idea?
It's because tourists go usually from Europe to Africa or other countries, other continents for vacation, but migrants, refugees, they leave their own place to find maybe a better place. And we wanted to represent this confusion with those two very different groups with this similar goal.
Okay, and I see that the lettering is made by hand.
It is.
So, and is it all the same lettering, or is it?
Yeah.
Is it printed on it? Did you write everything? Because you were. Can you come a bit closer because my mic is not so long?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did all the lettering yourself, or?
Yeah, I did. I did all the lettering on.
Project, but he did the lettering.
Yeah,
Arthur.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same type on every boy. It's we picked this kind of type because it was very raw and very spontaneous,
Right.
and we wanted to have a strong message.
Right.
That's why we didn't pick a regular typeface. We didn't want it to be neutral.
Right. Okay.
Maybe about the messages we can say that they were collected from newspaper headlines during the summer about the Mediterranean Sea that is shared in the same time by the tourists and by the refugees, and you know, the most interesting headlines we chose to represent the subject.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you have like this handwritten type on this boys. Yeah, it looks great. Very reflecting.
The project's name is Save Our Souls, and I think it works for both.
Right.
Yeah. And we really want to stimulate also people to go into the pile and to move them around and even play with them if they want, and just to, because of course you cannot read all the messages from a side, but it's not a static installation.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to create by laying them like more or less randomly, like to that the randomness reflects everything that happens on the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, and it's a constantly moving installation, like people or puppets going from one to the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically the idea.
So did I forget something?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't forget to check out the Instagram, Save Our Souls 2017. Totally worth it.
So good. Okay. Then I have another question. How do you like the festival so far? You just arrived from Paris.
Yes.
You went to the AGI conference.
Yes.
And how do you like it so far? You can take it if you want.
Okay, I will take it. So yeah, of course we were already welcomed Tuesday evening, or let's say Wednesday, here by Dennis and Patricia and the whole team, and it was a great welcoming. We had all the space and all the time to build up the project. So that was very important that we at least had that we could work here also, and then I think from there on we had the opening conference. We had a conference by Liz McQuiston that was also organized for the students from here and from St. Jost. Yeah. So that was like all this together made that we were welcomed very warmly, and that the students also could merge into the public and also meet with the other invited designers. So that was just a great start of the week.
Yeah.
And then, like Breda is a small city, and we are, and they are like they have bikes, so they can go around, and it's all very, all very, let's say.
So yeah, yesterday we spoke about that they are now graduated students. Are they going to graduate at the end of the year, of the semester, at the end of the year? So it's also a kind of a kickoff for the rest of the year. And how do you see this? Do you think like the inspiration that they get here would reflect during the year, or is it possible in the whole track that they gonna go into?
I'm totally convinced that traveling. Oh, you're holding it? Thank you.
You
That traveling always helps first to connect as a group already, and it also whenever you and there. I just come back from Arti where we had this afternoon about discussion about education, and there were some very interesting points coming up that in some cultures they first travel together before they start even teaching, just to get to know each other and come together as a group. And I think these kind of events always help for better communication in the class. And of course it's always inspiring if you see what happens, how other designers think, and to meet up. It's a good start for the semester, I think.
Right.
Brings a good energy.
I think so too, and it's also like making the group dynamic completely different.
Absolutely.
Also, that's also very good.
What I
It's maybe better to say by a student than by us.
Yeah, but okay. Do you have something to add to that?
They're absolutely right about it.
Thank you.
This is true.
Sorry.
No, I mean, this is a strong project. All the three projects are very strong. The meaning is strong, and it's very implicated. We're really into it. We really enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
It was.
But
long time.
how did you like the festival in
all
general?
the
Did you had an expectation before arriving here, and how did it came out when you?
When we got here, nothing was here, and in 2 straight days, everything just came up from kind of nowhere. So this is pretty amazing. Everyone is doing a great job here. So, yeah, this is totally worth it being here.
Great. So, do you think it's gonna influence this year for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I mean, this is the start of the year for us. This is our first week of the year, and yeah, I mean, this is the best beginning I've ever had.
That's great.
Maybe we should make a group photo with all of us.
Yeah, you can.
That would kick off there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Come over, girls.
Those who are here. You want to come in the picture?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, we can come all here, and then they can all see it on Facebook, who all work together. And meanwhile, I always end. Can you come a bit closer with the camera, because my camera is so dark. So I always end my interviews with a Neon 5, and there are 5 single recommendations in 5 categories. And it's starting with a book. Which book would you recommend everybody to read?
Oh, I should have looked at your video before. Everybody to read?
No, or your students, or.
Well, there's so many books that I just take what pops up in my mind. There is one book from Alan Fletcher that I really like very much. It's about looking sideways. Do you know the one where he just collects all these little things that you often don't see, and how it can change your. It's a little bit like Ways of Seeing of John Berger, for example, as a beginning project. Just comes to my head. There's so many others.
Yeah. And you? You had a few minutes more to.
Yeah, and I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a blank. I have the book in mind, the cover.
Describe the cover.
It's by an English designer. It's called of course, something with print, but it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, I will tell you what book it is afterwards.
Okay.
But now I will just name the book of Liz that we've seen here Friday, because she gave a lecture which was very essential. And
it's called Visual Impact, right?
Yeah, that one. And it's some kind of a history lesson about manifestations and also political protests. So that's a very urgent book, I think, in these times. So let me say that one, and the other one I will post on your website afterwards.
Okay, great. And then we have food. Which food would you recommend?
Which food? Avocados.
Avocado. And you?
Yeah, being here in Holland, I would have to say boerenkool, I think.
Right. The forced?
No, vegetarian.
Oh, vegetarian. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
me too.
okay. Yeah? Okay. And then let's see. A movie or television documentary.
That I think is important, or just that I really like. Or
Yeah, that you would recommend everybody to see.
What have I seen recently that I was really touched by? Start with him first.
Okay.
So I have some.
Okay, I would say City of God,
Right. From Brazil.
Brazilian favelas.
Yeah.
That was one that is really impressed me, because I saw it a bit earlier as well when I was a student, when I was their age.
Yeah.
I would say that one.
Did you find already something, or
I mean, there's so
do you
many.
wanna
This is
skip
in my
it?
one,
Oh.
No, I mean, I was just thinking connected to our subject about water. There was this one film that really I showed it to the students a couple of years ago, and I noticed it had a big impact. It's called Flow, about the privatization of water. It's maybe not the biggest movie, but it's a very important documentary, and. Yeah, but there's so many. That's just one. It's just one
that
random.
picked up. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's good. And then, like an event or a conference that you would recommend everybody to visit.
Well, Breda, I guess.
Breda, yeah, sure. But you just went to Paris?
I was just in the Archie conference in Paris, and it went very well. There were many members from all over the world, and it was this time open to the students. So there was a big mixing of, like the professionals and the students all over, and that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think, with different topics and Chaumont, the festival is coming to life again. And there's also what's happening in France right now is quite interesting. There's many places. I mean, there were always many places, but right now there's 3 places: Chaumont, Le Havre. I don't know if you heard about the festival in Le Havre, and also in Échirolles we have a festival, and this time the Congress in Paris. And I don't know.
Yeah. Also, when I was a student, I went to Integrated in Antwerp.
That's in November.
Yeah.
I think it's 12 till 14.
Yeah. I think they still do it. I haven't been there a few years, but at least as for students, that this is a really interesting conference.
Okay.
That popped up just now.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. And then finally, a miscellaneous, something from your life you would recommend for everybody.
A Michelin, what is it? Does it mean? I don't understand the question.
Like something that pops up in your something from your life that you would recommend to everybody.
Well, then I just can say try. How's it going? Just continue, try to work and fail, and through failing, you always. I mean, fail better. I mean, try again, fail better. Now, how is it? There's a quote. I didn't sleep enough. I was partying yesterday evening in the. So it was, there's nothing wrong about failing. Just try again and fail better. And I think we always try for perfection, but I think it's through the failure that we really learn and grow.
Yeah,
it's
good
kind
one.
of
That's
banal,
a really
but
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, my life lesson is a bit be patient and wait for the chance that you get. Chances will come, and if you're patient and you keep on working and keep on continuing believing in an idea, then someone will pick it up. But sometimes that is also what I see in our teaching, and students are sometimes a bit too anxious about stuff not coming directly, or ideas, or also like opportunities. But if you keep on believing in what you do, then it will come.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. It's so true. It's like I try to live by that also. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas.
And you are at 2:00 you're gonna do the silent protest, the manifestation in the city. So everybody in Breda or outside of Breda, come to Breda, see their manifestation, because I think it's mind blowing. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.